Have you ever laid in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering, what if I choose the wrong person? What if this isn't love? It's just pressure, loneliness, or fear of being left behind. If that question has ever quietly echoed in your mind, you're not alone. Because let's be real for a second. Marriage isn't just any decision. It's one of the biggest, most life-shaping choices you'll ever make. And yet, when it comes down to choosing the right person, many of us feel completely lost. You make istikhara. You talk to your closest friends. You scroll through endless reels, hoping for some magical sign. But deep down, one question keeps echoing silently in your heart. How do I know if this person is from Allah? My dear brothers and sisters, if you've ever felt lost in the journey of choosing the right person, please know this: you are not alone. We are living in a time where emotions run high, expectations are overwhelming, and clarity is often drowned out by pressure. Pressure from society, from culture, even from our own families. People are stepping into marriages for all the wrong reasons, because of a beautiful face, because of a vibe, because someone said, this is a good match. And then years later, they sit silently, wondering, did I make a mistake? But here's the truth that brings comfort and hope. Allah never leaves His servant in the dark. He gives signs. He opens doors. He guides hearts, subtly, gently, powerfully, if you are truly seeking Him. In this video, we're going to explore 5 clear, meaningful ways that Allah might be showing you who's truly written for you. This isn't about fantasy or wishful thinking. It's about Islamic wisdom, real-world experience, and the soft, unmistakable ways that Allah whispers to the heart. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever met someone and felt like they were placed in your life for a reason? But deep down, you couldn't tell if it was a test or a blessing? If that sounds familiar, then what comes next might be exactly what your heart has been searching for. Chachaniya 1. Allah makes the path easy without you forcing it. Sometimes we're so desperate to make a relationship work, we don't even realize we're the only one carrying it. We're the one reaching out, the one chasing approval, the one sacrificing our peace to hold something together. And then we call it love. But here's a powerful truth to sit with. When Allah writes someone for you, you won't need to destroy your soul just to keep them. That doesn't mean it will be perfect. Every relationship has tests. But when it's guided by Allah, things align. Doors open without constant struggle. Hearts connect without forcing it. And a kind of peace enters your chest that doesn't make sense except through Him. The Prophet Muhammad said, "A servant does not truly believe until he believes in Qadr, both the good and the bad of it, and that what missed him could never have hit him, and what hit him could never have missed him." Reported by Jabir ibn Abdullah. If it's written, it will come. And your istikhara won't leave you anxious. It will bring you calm. You won't feel like you're constantly fighting uphill. Because when something is from Allah, it doesn't drain you. It gives you light. Let me ask you this. Have you ever had to fake happiness just to keep a relationship alive? Now compare that to the moments in your life when everything just flowed. You didn't chase it. You didn't beg for it. Allah just made it happen. Sometimes the loudest sign that someone isn't written for you is when you're the only one trying. Sign number 2. Allah removes the wrong people. before He sends the right one. Let's be real. Some of the people you once begged Allah to keep in your life were never meant to stay. They weren't your forever. They were your test. And yes, it hurts. It's painful when someone you love walks away, especially when you made sincere dua, gave your all, and truly believed they were the one. But here's what we often forget. You weren't making dua for them. You were making dua for what's right. And Allah, in His deep wisdom, was simply clearing your path. Sometimes, before Allah grants you your person, He allows heartbreak, not to punish you, but to protect you. He clears away those who distracted you. He removes the ones who kept you stuck. He makes space in your heart for someone who's actually meant for you. Just look at the life of Prophet Yusuf, A.S. He was thrown into a well, sold into slavery, locked away in a prison, all before Allah raised him in status. Why? Because sometimes pain is the path to your purpose. So if you've ever been ghosted, rejected, or had your heart shattered despite giving everything, maybe that wasn't the end. Maybe it was your redirection. Because the one Allah writes for you, they won't leave you confused. You won't have to beg for clarity. You won't have to compromise your dignity. You won't have to pretend to be someone you're not. Sign number 3. Allah will not guide you through haram. Let's talk about something real, something many people avoid saying out loud. If your love story starts in haram, don't expect it to end in barakah. It's become so normalized today. A DM turns into a conversation. A harmless joke becomes a habit. And before you know it, you're emotionally attached to someone you're not even halal for. And then we call it love. But here's the reality. Real love does not begin with disobedience to the one who created it. Allah will not guide you toward your spouse through a path that distances you from Him. He doesn't use sin to build something sacred. He won't send you someone who leads you away from your deen and call it a test. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "There is nothing like marriage for two who love each other. Not secret conversations, not late-night texts, not relationships that only exist in the dark." And if you're thinking, we plan to make it halal soon, pause and reflect. If your story needs to be hidden from your family, your deen, and your Lord, who is really writing it? Here's the part we don't like to admit. Haram clouds your vision. Red flags look like romance. Boundaries blur. And by the time you want to do things right, your heart is already tied to something Allah never blessed. You can't ask Allah to bless a relationship you're too ashamed to pray about. So if you're serious about finding who's truly written for you, start by purifying your path. Leave what you know is wrong. Walk away from what dims your light. Align your heart with your values. And then watch how Allah replaces it. With peace, with clarity, and with a love that doesn't demand hiding, but leads you closer to Him. Sign number 4. You start changing before they even appear. Sometimes the clearest sign from Allah isn't about them. It's about you. Before Allah places the right person in your life, He starts transforming your heart from the inside, quietly, privately. No dramatic announcement, just a shift. You stop entertaining what you once tolerated. You step away from haram relationships. You let go of flirting, distractions, anything that doesn't feel right anymore. You begin praying, not to impress anyone, but because you want to be clean before your Lord. And maybe you don't realize it yet, but Allah is preparing you. Because the one written for you, they're being prepared too. And when two hearts are being molded by Allah on separate journeys, He brings them together at the exact moment they're both ready. But here's what most people miss. They keep asking, where is the right person? Without asking, am I becoming the right person? And that's okay, because preparation is part of the mercy. So if you feel yourself changing, growing, maturing, leaving behind sins and toxic patterns, don't panic, don't rush, don't lose hope. That shift in you, that desire for better, it's not random. It's a divine sign that Allah is not just writing a love story. He's writing your growth story. Because when the time comes, you'll meet each other not in confusion, but in clarity. Not in guilt, but in peace. And that kind of connection, that's not just love, that's a gift. Sign number 5, you feel peace. After istikhara, even if it's not what you expected. Let's clear up a big misconception. Many people believe istikhara is supposed to come with flashing signs, vivid dreams, or some overwhelming emotional certainty. They wait for a dramatic confirmation, something they can point to and say, that was my sign. But here's the truth most people don't realize. Istikhara isn't always loud. Most of the time, Allah answers it with something far more subtle. Peace. You pray istikhara. You entrust your heart and your choice to the one who knows what you don't. And then something shifts. You don't feel anxious. You're not restlessly chasing signs or trying to control the outcome. You just feel calm. Maybe the person isn't exactly who you pictured. Maybe they don't check every single box. Maybe your emotions are still catching up. But deep down, there's no storm inside you, just stillness, just contentment. That is a sign. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught us. When something is right, Allah makes the heart content. Not hyper, not swept away in a fantasy, but quietly assured. Your soul feels settled, not shaken. And sometimes the answer looks completely different. You do istikhara, and instead of peace, you feel unsettled. Conversations start falling apart. Doors quietly close. You feel a heaviness you can't shake. And yes, it stings, especially when you wanted it to work. But what if that discomfort was the answer? What if Allah wasn't ignoring you? He was protecting you. Because the beauty of istikhara is not about getting what you want. It's about surrendering to what Allah knows is best. So if you walked away with peace, even if it wasn't the ending you imagined, hold on to that. That peace after prayer, it's not random. It's your Lord softly whispering, this is better for you. Final words. My dear brothers and sisters, choosing who to marry isn't just a decision, it's a spiritual journey. A journey that will test your patience. A journey that will stretch your trust. And a journey that will deepen your faith in Allah's timing, His wisdom, and His mercy. Sometimes the signs will be clear and undeniable. Other times they'll come through silence, pain, or sudden redirection. But if your heart is sincere, Allah will guide you. Not always through dreams, not always through what you want, but through the things you need, through the people He removes, through the peace He gives you, and through the version of you He's quietly shaping behind the scenes. Because in Islam, marriage isn't about falling in love. It's about rising in faith, together. So if you're still waiting, still uncertain, still healing from a love that wasn't meant to last, don't give up. Allah is not late. He's just preparing something greater than what you're asking for. And if this message touched your heart, even a little, take a moment to leave this dua in the comments. Ya Allah, guide me to what is best for my deen, my heart, and my future. You never know. Your words might be the comfort someone else needs tonight. Before you go, please take a moment to like this video if it brought you peace, and subscribe if you'd like more reminders like this. It costs nothing, but it helps us reach hearts that need healing. May Allah bless you with a spouse who guards your heart, strengthens your faith, and walks with you hand in hand toward Jannah. Āmeen. Until next time, stay sincere, stay patient, and trust the one who never breaks his promises.